Oh shit, I didn't know we were live. Hey Instagram, sorry, I didn't know we were live. I accidentally hit the start button with my pinky. So you saw a little behind the scenes of me fucking around with camera camera space, distance, shots, trying to be all creative and shit. Because I don't know if you know this, but I went to film school, and if I'm not creative or try to be creative with camera angles, I feel like I've wasted my degree. Not true. My major in film school was actually screenwriting, not film production. So I didn't waste my degree. Oh, shit. Maybe I did. Alright. Alright. Can you walk with me? I need to get God. I promise I'm not wasting your time. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I gotta get some tools. Because I need an Allen wrench. Alright, sorry. Look. Oh, fuck. Happy Sunday. I'm all over the place. I just got home from Legoland. And, well, I'll share. Hold on one second. Let me turn this on. So many things. So many things to turn on. Alright, here we go. Hey, here's one proof of change or growth. In my hand it looks like coffee. It's actually tea. I am drinking chamomile tea, and this is huge because I drink coffee all day, and I think I drink too much, and I'm trying to, switch it up. I hear bone broth is like stomach lotion, which sounds kind of gross, in the morning, and I've been trying to do that, but it's just heavy. So I wake up and I just reach for my coffee like it's a pacifier. Anyway, so in the afternoon, I have a little more strength. It's all black now. What is going on? I might have to restart this. This is really bad. Let me restart this. I have all set up. I've got the hotel calling me because we forgot my 4-year-old shoes at the hotel, and so when the phone rings, the Instagram stops. Anyway, I'm drinking tea. And I'm trying to break a pattern, and my point is that we change. I never thought in my life that I would actually kind of not want to drink coffee anymore. It's happening, at least in the afternoon. So I'm here with chamomile tea. If you're Korean, you like beverages boiling, and my tea is lukewarm, so it kind of tastes like piss, but I'm leaning into it. My dad used to eat the Korean soups at dinner, and I don't know why Koreans like shit so hot. I mean, it would be boiling. He would be sweating like he came out of a sauna. And look, I'm not gonna say all Koreans, but my dad, they didn't have a lot of manners when it came to eating, and so he would be funneling food and soup in his mouth, and he'd be drenched in sweat and burping, and oh god, it was traumatic. It was traumatic eating at my house with my parents. No wonder why I wanted to go, to my friend's house for Thanksgiving and just eat like, turkey and cranberry and shit. I don't know why I shared that story. Okay. Oh, Legoland. So just got home from Legoland. I'm a little bit scattered, and let me tell you something about amusement parks. My greatest. So this is a horror movie for me. You wake up. So you spend the entire day, say, at Disneyland. You wake up, and you're still at Disneyland, right? So like the Groundhog's Day, but it's just Disneyland. Over and over. That's one of my nightmares. So I don't think I've been to Disneyland since I came to America when I was like 3. I refuse to go to Disneyland, but I heard that Legoland is a little different. My daughter and I have been getting into Legos, and so I was like, oh, okay. They close at 5. They're not that big. There isn't that many lines, and so we went to Legoland, and we went with our neighbors, had a great time. It is a 2-hour drive, but it's about as much as I could handle as far as an amusement park without cursing my birth. Anyway, I got some questions, and I still have some energy on a gloomy Sunday afternoon. If you live in Los Angeles, the last 2 years have been like London, although I've never been to London. I'm assuming this is what England feels like. Just gloomy every day and surprisingly lots of rain. Lots of false advertising these last 2 years in Los Angeles. If you're coming here from somewhere else and you're like, this is not the weather that has been advertised in California. Okay, question number 1. Can you be friends with an ex? And this is a question I get so often. This is also this also may be activating for you. We'll see. All right, so I'm going to start with the story. When I was married 15 years ago, 15, 20, 15, look, I was young. I was insecure. My wife at the time was very attractive physically. Well, she was an attractive person too. I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I said just physically. No, she was an attractive person, and she was. I remember she was finishing a movie, and she was at a guy's. One of the co-stars was having a rap party in his hotel room, right? And so he invited a few people, her being one of them. She called me from the hotel room, and told me where she was, and I think it was like 10 p.m. or something. And I remember being very bothered that she was in a hotel room with a guy. And I said, and I think we were newlyweds. We just gotten married. And I said, I just feel uncomfortable. And she's like, it's a party, and there's other people here, not just me. And I remember using the fact that we were married as opposed to like what a married woman, how a married woman should act like. And it was, midnight and you're in a hotel room with a guy. Now, of course, me looking back, I see how ridiculous that sounds and how that came from insecurity. And not only insecurity, but just I feel like lots of shoulds that were passed down, right? On what, how married people should act, but mostly insecurity. And if you go deeper, maybe a fear of abandonment. And also, at that time in my life, in my late 20s, there was nothing secure in my life, right? I didn't have a sense of self. I didn't have much of an income. I was a struggling writer. I was an artist in Hollywood. And her career was booming, right? And so, anyway, my point is, I am sharing that story because they were friends. And she got invited to a party. It was a big deal because it was a rap party, right? Yes, it was late, but what? So what? She can't go to a party at night because she's married? That was an example of her wanting to invest in a friendship and me blocking it because of my jealousy, my controlling, my insecurities. And I guarantee you, someone listening to this will say, oh, I totally agree with you. And, your wife shouldn't be in a hotel room with some dude. even if there's other people there or at a certain hour or whatever. Listen, if that's what you're thinking, I challenge you to look at that and where that's coming from. Because if you asked me then, and I think I was 31. I don't remember how old I was. Early 30s, late 20s. I would have been, this is, I'm not wrong, right? Now, if you ask me now as a 51-year-old, that's ridiculous and control. And also, what a turnoff. You're freshly married, and you're going to a party. You're telling your husband that you're going to this rap party that means something to you, and he's now feeling jealous and trying to make you feel bad for going there. You would probably feel trapped already, Anyway, can you be friends? Going back to the question, can you be friends with your ex? So, yes, of course you could be friends with your ex, right? The most important question is, what is your intention? Why, if I had a friend, if me and one of my exes, we had this thing, let's say we loved building mufflers, right? That was our thing. We fucking geeked out at designing and building mufflers. And then we broke up, right? And I started missing talking to someone about mufflers. And there's no one in my life that I can talk to about mufflers. And even my partner, she's not into mufflers, right? So that part of me being creative with someone, talking about, geeking out about mufflers, that part of my life has been gone, right? Because that friend is no longer a friend because we were intimate, right? Well, why can't I be friends with that person as long as my intention is just friendship and still have that part of my life? You know what I'm saying? Like, why does that have to be gone because we shared a bed once? I think the person who wants to be friends with their ex just has to be honest with themselves, And if they feel that there's nothing there but friendship, and they miss this person in a friendly way, and there isn't anything kind of emotional, there's no residue, there's no attraction in that way, then it's sad to me that you can't be friends with people from your past. Usually you can't be friends because your partner will not allow it, because your partner thinks that you're going to go back to your ex, right? Your partner feels threatened. And so how much of this is, if you want to be friends with your ex, how much of this is on your partner and your partner to work through their insecurity, jealousy, feeling abandonment or whatever, and then how much of this is on you? Well, what's on you is, first, I think, being honest with your partner, saying, hey, I would like to be friends with my ex, and here's why, and here's what I get from this friendship. How do you feel about it? So I think mentioning this, having a conversation, you're not asking for permission per se, because I don't know if we need to get permission from our partners to be friends with anyone, but because it is a sensitive subject, and because, of course, this is not just a friend, but a friend you have a history with and that you have loved at one point, just out of respect and sensitivity, of course, I would bring it up with my partner and see how she feels about it. And and then what's being activated? And if your partner acts like how I acted with with my ex-wife wanting to go to a rap party, then that's kind of your partner's shit, We're adults. We can be friends with whoever we want to be friends with, And I even think if your partner doesn't like your friend, whoever that friend is, that's your partner's thing to work through too, right? like when I think about my exes, I would love to be friends with them. They they just don't want to be friends with me, I'm sure. But and I'm in a relationship where my partner, I have the most kind of secure, like safe, grounded. We could talk about anything, non-judgmental partner I think I've ever had in my life, and she would be totally cool with me being friends with any of my exes. I think she would appreciate me, not hiding it, obviously, but I think she would be open to it, and she would just trust me, right? So I think a lot of this goes back to trust, goes back to one's intention. What I see often in couples is you want to be friends with an ex. And listen, friendship doesn't mean you're going to hang out with the person every weekend, right? It could just be, listen, I care about this person, and we touch base, or if the person's in the city, we grab a coffee, right? That could also be a friendship. And I would say most partners are not okay with that. And this is why I want to answer this question. Why are you not okay with it? And is it because there's a pattern of emotional cheating, and if there is, then sure, that's fair. But if not, is it because of your own insecurity? Something is being activated in you that you should look at instead of grabbing your partner, setting rules of what your partner can and can't do, because that's going to create. It's gonna get people to feel trapped. And when people start feeling trapped, they start to feel suffocated, and it changes the chemistry, and then there's anger and resentment, and it could definitely flip the magnet, when you feel very kind of grabbed and controlled. So this is one way, a common way people can feel grabbed and controlled when their partner says, "Here's who you can and can't be friends with," And someone, listen, you might be listening to this and you might be saying, listen, I don't say who my partner can and can't be friends with. I just don't want them to be friends with their ex. Well, okay. I get that's harder. If you trust your partner and their intention, then what is it about that really? Is it because there's a giant should? Is it something that you grew up with, and it's like a value thing, or is it a religious thing? Why is it that you can't be friends with your ex? Here, and I'm getting all passionate about this because I've also seen friendships being ruined because, like you could be really good friends with someone who's the opposite sex, right? And then that person gets a boyfriend or girlfriend, and suddenly they won't allow you to be friends anymore because they're jealous. And then your friend, instead of sticking up for the friendship, starts to fade away. This shit happens all the time. And you're like, what the fuck? We were friends before you even met this person, and now because of this person's jealousy, our friendship is now hindered. So this is a case where we weren't even intimate, but your new partner, because of their jealousy or insecurity or feeling threatened, won't let us be friends because we're different sexes, right? That's to me, that's ridiculous. To me, that's not cool. That's again another, and also it's telling of like when I hear these stories, I get very mad at the person who's allowing their partner to determine the friendships they could have and not have in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, it's annoying that your partner is that insecure and all that, but it's on you, man. My friendship is with you, and if you are going to now allow our friendship to dissolve because you're scared to lose your partner, because your partner won't let us be friends, that says something about you, Anyway. Hey, by the way, off topic. I started the English Therapist Espanol on YouTube. AI is fucking nuts. AI is nuts. So I ran one of my YouTube videos through AI and had them translate the thing in Spanish, and I was shocked. You could Google it. Go find me on YouTube. Listen to this. It sounds just like me. It's not me. It's AI that takes my voice and then makes my English video in Spanish, translates it, and it fucking sounds just like me. I'm like, wow, just how fast technology is moving is mind blowing. So I'm turning my YouTube into another YouTube that's Spanish, and if it does decent, and if people are getting something out of it, I can't wait to create the Angry Therapist in Korean. In Korean, that would be that blows my mind, because now my mom can see what I do with my days. There are some things I don't want my mom to listen to or hear, but as far as my inner journey, my thoughts, but just the idea that my mom can, because we don't have those conversations, you know. She doesn't speak English that well. I don't speak Korean that well, but now she could. Now I could talk about some deep shit, personal shit, have AI translate it into Korean, and then that can be an episode on YouTube or my podcast, and my mom can hear it and be like, "Wow." You know what would be sad is if she's like, "Nah, I'm not interested. I don't want to see your YouTube, or you listen to your podcast. I'm good, John." But I also am passionate about wellness and mental health in Korea, and because I don't speak Korean well, just the fact that we can now translate is definitely giving me a heart boner. Okay, next question. How to heal from your ex immediately after separating. All right, I got another story for you. Lots of stories where I fucked up. I was in a 3-year relationship, and I left the relationship. We talked about it, us drifting, and then I suddenly was on Craigslist. I found a townhouse in Los Feliz, and I moved out pretty quickly. Which, yes, I think looking back, it was definitely kind of reactive and irresponsible of me. There was no like courtesy, right? We talked about the relationship kind of dissolving, drifting, us, the chemistry changing, and then we didn't really do anything about it. Or at least I didn't do anything about it. Instead, I got on Craigslist and looked for another place to kind of like separate for a while. And the excuse I used was I found such an amazing place. It was right on Hillhurst, next to the coffee shops and the restaurants. I was like, I can't lose this place. It's a great deal, 2-story, 2-bedroom townhouse, and they're gonna give it to me, and I don't want to lose it. So that was kind of my excuse, and so that's why I moved out fast. Right after I moved out, hanging out with friends. One of my friends, female, maybe about, I don't know, a month after me leaving or breaking up, I ended up kissing this friend on the beach. I blamed it on the moon. And I'll be completely honest. I mean, this is a friend that wasn't like a super close friend, but I've always thought she was attractive. It wasn't like a friend that was like, my boy, and then we just started kissing. It was a friend that I found attractive just kind of throughout the years, but not enough where I did anything, or we were always in relationships with other people, and so just a lot of it was timing. A lot of it was I don't know. I also feel like I haven't felt desired in a long time, and there was something about we went to the beach at night, just kind of as buddies, hopped the fence on a private beach. The moon was full, and we were talking about deep stuff. It just felt like the kind of shit that happens in high school, right? And I leaned over and kissed her, right? And then we kind of dated a little bit. And my point, why am I sharing the story? My point in sharing the story is, so the question is, how to heal from your ex immediately moving on after separating. Okay, well, what happened was, this is what happens most of the time when someone starts dating someone very fast, like I did. And can I just say real quick, this is something I really regret, and this is something that I blame myself for. I should have. I think there's a courtesy period. I think when you end a relationship and a month later you're kissing someone else on the beach, I don't think that's cool. Even though, and I was technically, like, I kept convincing myself I'm technically single. I didn't do anything wrong. I wasn't out looking. I wasn't swiping. It kind of happened organically. Blah blah blah. Well, there's a courtesy period. You after you've been in a relationship with someone for 3 years, you just, and I don't know what that time is. It's got to feel right, but it can't be 4 weeks. It can't be 4 weeks. And there are people I know who get married 4 weeks after they leave, after they go through a breakup or an expired relationship, as I call it. And it's just, and not only do they get married, but they post that shit on Facebook, right? So, like, they're not even quiet about it. I think it's disrespectful. I think it's rude. I think it's there's a and listen, and sometimes relationships end in a very toxic way, and I get there's anger and all that, but man, maybe wait 6 months. Give yourself some time. And listen, if you do meet someone and you don't know when you're going to meet, when, like, you don't know who you're going to meet when, and when you do, God, I just got really insecure about the way I speak. I don't know what's going on. My English is just going down the drain. I think as I get older, I don't use punctuation. I say a lot. I'm just really, things are hard for me these days. I think about 6 months. I think 6 months, and it doesn't have to be 6 months, but if you do, because I know you can find someone without looking, and of course you don't want to lose that person, so so you're dating this person early, right? It's been before 6 months. Just keep it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't fucking post about it. Don't brag about it. Just and take it slow. Because here's what's going to happen, and this is me now answering your question. Most people who go through a breakup / expired relationship and they date someone very fast, right? In my case, it was like weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks. It's not going to last. It usually doesn't last because it's not. How do I say this? Because what's going to happen is the residue from the previous relationship. Okay, so whether it's issues or like that isn't really healed or finished, and you're already moving into a space of loving someone new, and it's complicated. It's just not clean, right? So the reason why you're going into something new may also be not coming from a healthy place. It may be coming from a place of not feeling desired, not feeling seen, and so someone makes you feel a little bit that way, and then you think that person is everything, but you don't know a lot about this person, and then you get to know this person, and you realize it's not going to work, right? So if you've been thirsty for attention, or if in your previous relationship you feel like it's been dead for so long, and someone makes you feel seen and beautiful and heard, and someone's attracted to you, that high that you get can be very powerful. And I think a lot of us are reacting to that instead of actually making an effort to find someone who we really want to invest in. So when we want to really invest in someone, we get to know them, and we see if they're able to repair after fights, and we talk about their dreams and how much alignment there is or isn't. We don't just go lightning speed at them, and if we do, it's usually short-lived. So that is one thing I want to say off the bat is people who jump into relationships really fast after they've been in a long relationship, and I get it that you may have broken up in that relationship before the relationship technically ended. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that happens, right? Like, people in marriages, oh, the marriage ended 5 years ago. Even though we got divorced 10 years, the marriage ended 5 years ago. And so when I met this person early, 2 weeks after the divorce, I was, I was ready. I was like, I get that. But even with that, it's like there's still residue. There's still, a lot of stuff that you're bringing into. Look, here's my point. There hasn't been enough period of time where you were alone. Even if you felt lonely in the marriage, you weren't alone. You weren't literally alone. So you weren't, you weren't single on purpose. You weren't sitting with yourself and reflecting and processing revelations and building a better relationship with you. You weren't connecting to you. And that's what's required for you to start then, I think, investing in someone else. So you're coming into that different. So you're coming into that as kind of a whole person, bringing something different to the table, something of value. And that piece, if it's missing, and you're just jumping from one lily pad to another lily pad to whatever, then it's the chances that plane's going to go down is pretty high. That's all I'm saying. It happened to me. Anyway, thank you for listening. Before I go, I wanted to remind you, I created a Substack. It's the only platform that I'm writing on, and we push out articles pretty much weekly. So if you want to join my Substack, I think it's just search Thinker Therapist on Substack. You can find me there. And thank you for listening. Be well.